Live back for Turbulent Times this week. After last week, we unfortunately had a few issues going forward with an echo. Hopefully we don't have the echo this time. I've got my lovely wife joining us, or overseeing everything going on anyway. I believe he's finally left us. We were going to go at 5, then we put it back to 5:30 for the great man Brendan Baker to help out. He had a few issues at home. And then now, unfortunately, he's got bigger issues. The phone just does not want to work with the Zoom. Firstly, Troy Harley, welcome, mate. And it's going to be a much more peaceful conversation without him, that's for sure.
The last 10 minutes was some of the most entertaining 10 minutes of your life trying to get us work that out. But anyway.
We had a few echo issues in that last week, and I don't know what happened just then. We had a different thing happen there, but we had a few echoes last week. We do apologise to those for the people out there at home, but we're trying something different, trying to keep the word out there, mate, trying to keep everything positive and upbeat. That's what we're about, that's for sure. And just have a bit of fun as well, is what we try to do. We've called it Turbulent Times. It's normally before the races, but we can't do a few of those things, that's for sure, Hales.
Definitely not, mate. I think Turbulent Times is probably a pretty good topic. Give a good name for the show, that's for sure. It's an interesting time of things that we're going through, but we're a lot better off as an industry, industries, the three of us, the racing industry combined, we're a lot better off than many other industries are and many other people are. And we certainly sympathise for those that can't go about their business the way they normally do. We're very fortunate we pretty much are. Absolutely,
and being able to roll along good. Harness racing, we're getting plenty more harness racing going out there at the minute. There's trots going all the time. I saw a new schedule for Bendigo harness racing coming forward next couple of weeks. I think we're going to have 2 meetings there going forward as well, which is exciting for the club, and there's a lot going on behind the scenes. So been given the thumbs up, mate. We don't have the echo of last week. We don't have a lot of viewers at the minute, but that's okay. We'll start it, we'll see where we go, and go from there. No Baker, so there won't be any stupidity, that's for sure. Anyway, so we'll keep it going.
Don't speak too soon.
Well, he might chime in with a comment or two, but we don't know. We've got Rod Lakey coming in a little while too. Not exactly sure how that works when he'll come in to join us, but we'll definitely get there once he comes in and joins us as well. So he had a good night last night, mate. We raced last week. I think it was Friday night, and
Friday night.
Turbulent times. It was torrential times for the club and all the participants. I know we measured 81 mil out here. I don't think they had quite that at the track, but it's just...
Now, come on, now, let's tell the truth. I was having a conversation with you and you were almost hiding under your table because of lightning. No. You kept saying to Marie, you can't be racing, you can't be going out there. We won't be racing. Luckily, she's the braver of the family and you went to the races, you stayed home.
I was pretty lucky. A few things changed at the last minute with HRV and the way they're going about it, and I must commend them. They're very professional. They found a few little glitches in the armoury, I suppose, of what they were trying to do with the regional racing, and I was one of those casualties. I want to be able to do a little bit more media, I suppose, going forward, and so I was actually pretty much told there's no ifs or buts either on my driver or on media, so I stepped down from my drive. So that actually meant that I couldn't even go to a meeting. So Marie didn't drive the horse because she's a little bit hurt, so she didn't actually drive the horse, so she missed out on the drive, but she got to go in there and get absolutely drowned. There was lightning, there was everything, and I think well done to everyone. Under the climate and the circumstances, I thought for sure the meeting would be called off, but it went ahead, and it was a good meeting, and it was a lot of positive stories come out of it.
Yeah, including the one we're about to talk about with Rod Lakey.
Yeah, we've just got to wait on Roddy to come in. But
what he did first up for
14 years or something, wasn't he?
14 years, and
the first horse he drove was first up for 10 years. It was just so great. It was actually a great thing. There's been
nothing like a bit of freshness in the form guide.
Oh no, that's it. I mean, that's exactly right, and it was a good story. Look, it would be one of those ones. I don't know how he would have gone in other day. Like if if we were back normal racing and the likes. I'm not sure exactly where he would have stood and where he would have gone, but they got his licence through very quickly for him too. So hopefully he joins us shortly. I told him about 5:40. I haven't got anything back from him, but we can. I'm hoping he can get in. Bake's had a few issues as well as we just seen. So hopefully he can get in, mate. There's been some good stories around Bendigo or around harness racing. Full stop. I don't know if you've seen Holstein the other day at Shepparton, the skewbald horse win. He's a great story.
Yep.
It made a lot of people a lot happy anyway. So Stephen O'Donoghue, and well, traditionally Beck Bartley, but Beck didn't drive it. I don't know if there was a reason Beck didn't drive it or not, but it's a coloured horse, and winning it was quite a colourful thing and a very upbeat thing. That's for sure. And it was a good feel good story, I reckon, actually, the other day. So at Shep Harness, that's for sure.
Well, got plenty of publicity, obviously, for the horse's appearance. We've got plenty of publicity on social media that race normally wouldn't get. So it was certainly good to see something different, a different angle, and people talking about the harness racing they might not necessarily talk about.
Yeah, that's right, and positive stuff, mate. Harness racing, they're doing a lot of things positively going forward as well. They've joined with SEN and SEN Track as well as the Greyhounds have.
Yep.
As far as the harness racing people go, they're wrapped in it. I'm not sure how the thoroughbreds, the Greyhounds, how are they handling it?
Yeah, most going well as well. Obviously, it's a different market, a new market, and that's certainly what we need to do. And these times are certainly showing that. And if you read a story on RaceNet about the ATC and the race thoroughbred industry in New South Wales earning a little bit over $1 million in wagering and race fields fees and vision fees for the overseas from day one of the championships, you can certainly see where these type of new openings from SEN and other jurisdictions and other media can certainly lead us towards a little bit more fruit from the tree in the future. And obviously the exposure to new people. And SEN traditionally a sporting network that obviously sports punters have got nothing else to look at having a bet at, and sports followers have got nothing else to look at, so they might as well look at racing, and if the codes can get involved, then it's a great thing.
That's exactly right. We've got too many screens happening here. Roddy's been sitting there for a while, and I didn't let him in, and now he's gone, but hopefully he'll come back in very, very shortly. Yeah, I think, as you say, there's no live sport anywhere for anyone going forward at the minute, and it's there's definitely a fair glut of people wanting stuff. I know I've been watching reruns of car races and golf games and the like, so it's been pretty challenging time for a sports lover like myself to be able to enjoy the sport, I suppose, and enjoy all the sport. But thankfully we've got racing going full steam ahead. Dan Andrews was really, really good too. He was on the front foot saying how important racing is, full stop. It was an all-encompassing umbrella too, greyhounds, harness and the thoroughbreds, which was terrific.
Yeah, it was, and he declared that he really does have an interest in racing, so certainly not a biased comment. Obviously recognising the employment benefits of racing, but not only that, also the enjoyment side and the social aspect side. I think his quote was loosely on the lines, "I'm not a race goer myself, but certainly plenty of people getting enjoyment out of watching races in a time where there's not much else enjoyment about." So that was terrific to see that in unbiased statement, a bit of a backing. And of course, we've still got to tread carefully and do everything we do with our biosecurity measures and protocols, and fingers crossed that the state doesn't go into a stage 4 or 5 stage lockdown. But at this point in time, it's great to have their backing, and obviously great to have support of the participants as well. We introduced this week in Greyhound Racing some more screening. We've got medical professionals on site doing the temperature tests and medical tests. Participants have been questioned whether they should be there for the entire meeting or not. They've pretty much handled that very well, and it's our first day today, and it's certainly gone off pretty well. I think all those measures in place have been well supported by the participants, and they're just happy to be racing.
Absolutely, and as you can see down the bottom, mate, we've been joined by Rod Lakey, which was terrific of you to join us, Roddy. I apologise for that. Some of the technical sides of these things, they get a little bit tricky from time to time. We didn't have Brendan Baker. He had no noise at all. Hopefully you've got some noise, Roddy. We might get you just to check your... well, firstly, welcome, mate, and hopefully you've got some volume there as well.
Yep, I can hear you okay, and I'm happy that it's all working well now. I was panicking there. I thought it was me, mate.
No, you're all good, mate. I'll just get some of the signage out of your way. I'm pushing too many buttons. I didn't realise I had to push another screen up there, Roddy. And it's a good story. And look, some of the things we try to do with this show is actually get people involved, Hales and the likes. This might be a bit easier for us to be able to get special guests on and also get B. Baker off. It's got its plus sides, that's for sure. Roddy...
no doubt about that.
You're right, Hales? You're right.
No, I was just going to say, Rod, I sent Rod a message after. I've tried to send him one before his drive last week, but certainly one after after winning. And Rod, we've dealt with each other for a few years, but I've got to say, until I saw a story by Isles in the paper, I didn't realise that you were a harness racing driver.
No. Well, I guess I had no reason to talk about it, Troy. It was all in the past there for a long time. So I was a has-been, but got the bug back and took the leap. And there you go. Now you know what I've used to do.
You got the bug back, Roddy. What inspired the bug? I know I've seen you out at the trots a few times swinging hands with the Lovely, and you came out, but inconsistently. You wouldn't be there every meeting. There was a few times. So what inspired the bug?
Well, when I first quit, I swore to myself, that was it. I wanted to be all in or not at all. So I said to myself, that's it, I'm done, no more. And, I did miss it. I tried to tell myself that I wasn't missing it, but I was. And every now and again, I'd go to the trots and watch them out there driving. And to be honest, it actually hurt to watch people out there, doing what I wanted to do. So I didn't go that often. And a couple of years ago, I'm good mates with David Van Ryn, and I started helping him out with his race team, going out there on weekends and working a few, and it just made me so happy that I kept on doing it. And then gradually, like anything, the idea started to grow, and I met Sean McNulty through Dave, and kept working horses midweek and weekends, and it just got to the point where people were saying you should get your trial license back. And once that idea was in my head, it was there was no going back. And I'm so happy. Like, it just makes me so happy to be back doing it again and out on the track, looking around and absorbing it all, and it's just great.
For your first drive, I don't know if you picked up on it, Hales, was on a 10-year-old who hadn't been on the track for 6 years, almost to the day anyway. It was half a month short of the 6 years, and heavens opened and you're driving this 6-year-old, and did you wonder, what am I doing?
No, I reckon I was the only person on track that really didn't care it was raining. I was just happy to be there. Honestly, if people are going to give me drives and let me do what I love, I don't care if it's raining. That's the least of my worries. But we were both having our comebacks, the horse and me, and it didn't go according to plan. But that's racing too. We got the first one out of the way, and after that, it's steadily improved. And by the time I got to my fourth drive, I felt like I'd been out there forever. So. Yeah.
Was that
he's a sorry, go on.
Your fourth drive was gobsmacked?
Yeah, my fourth drive was gobsmacked, yeah. So a
lot of the greyhound boys out there, they might not be aware that he's not the nicest gaited horse either, gobsmacked. He has a few little quirks and a few little tricks about his trade, doesn't he, Roddy?
Yeah, well, he used to, apparently. So, but Sean pulled off the go straights, which is obviously something that helps them be a bit more tractable, especially around the corners. And he just paced perfectly. And I think it was in track work we tried it for the first time, and I said to Sean, no, he was perfect. So we left him off, and honestly, he did not put a foot wrong. So. Don't know. Sean's worked his magic there somewhere, but he feels beautiful in every way.
So, Rob, was the comeback always planned for this weekend, or was the regional racing sort of fast tracked that a little bit?
No, just luck. I've had absolutely everything fall my way as far as luck goes, and that was part of it. So I said into myself, I want to do 20 trials to get the license back. So the stewards obviously make you do so many trials and so many stands and so many mobiles to get the license back. I wanted to do 20, and I was up to about, I think it was 18 or 17 when the regional racing got announced. So I had two meetings. I had the Sunday meeting and the Monday meeting to get 3. and I was getting quite a few trial drives, so the timing was just perfect. I got the stamp of approval. The stewards, I got my 20th trial, rang up the stewards and said, hey, this is my plans. They stamped it, and next minute I was on the racetrack and just pinching myself thinking, geez, I didn't think I'd be back here, but here I am.
And driving winners.
And driving winners, even better. Yeah.
And getting drowned.
You had won the race, didn't you, Cambo?
Hey?
You had one in the race too, didn't you?
Yeah, drove us.
Frankie's race?
Yeah, we're a tempo-related horse, and he stacked them and packed them. Don't you worry about that. And then one fast last lap, and it was a good finish. And they're all there to get past him at the top of the lane, but no one was going to get past you, Roddy. That was for sure. And I watched the video a couple of times, and he was still going strong on the line. Your bloke, he did a great job, really, didn't he?
Yeah, he did do a great job. Like if they can run a 55 something last half, you're right. It didn't suit your horse at all, Paul. Yours is tough and needs the high tempo, and it was suiting the leaders the way we went about it. But if they can run a 55 something half, they're going to be hard to beat by anyone.
Yep, could not agree more, mate. It was very, very well said. You got a couple of drives. You got 4 drives tomorrow night. Well, 3 drives guaranteed anyway, and one potential first emergency drive. It wouldn't be too many people. Roddy's sitting behind a desk, so he probably looks about the same height as me and Hales, but he's a little bit shorter. But you'll be able to eyeball Ray Cross if you get the drive on one of Ray's anyway, mate. Ray and yourself are vertically challenged pretty well, aren't you?
Yeah, and you know what? I don't mind at all. I've got the right job for that, so I don't mind being having Duck's disease when it comes to driving horses. That's fine. And I knew Ray from Queensland. I spent some time in Queensland, and when he saw me on track, and his wife Janelle saw me on track, they come and said, "Oh, we're in Victoria now, near Bendigo," and so it's really lovely to be able to, well, if it gets a run, to have a drive for them in Victoria.
His horses are going absolutely terrific when they do front up. I tell you, they add big odds. You don't worry about the odds, Roddy. They rock up at any old odds. So, Gobsmack, can you do the job again?
Yeah, you can. Yeah, for sure.
There's a push, Hales. There was no hesitation, mate.
No.
Yeah. Well, yeah, he's done it once. I don't think the field's any stronger than it was. He's the form I've done. I think that he could potentially run to the front. So why not? I reckon he can.
Very, very good, mate.
With that, talking about a similar field, is regional racing going to see that type of, I suppose, the same horse competing more often and that form holding up apart from barrier draw? We're going to see a bit more of that form line now because of the regional racing, Camber?
I think so. I think that's possibly the biggest concern I have with it. I'm wrapped we're racing, don't get me wrong, and I think this is a very sensible way of doing it. But yeah, limited pools. Yeah, hopefully they can change things up a little bit and get a few horses. Like Gobsmack wins a couple. Yeah, he can't go back against those same class horses and the like. So hopefully things will change up that way and keep it. People guessing might be Media or what it was called, Metro 80 or Mercury 80. Mercury 80, they did that with 1,000-metre dashes.
Yep.
They might have to do a couple of those over the cards just to stimulate a bit of difference, a bit of separation, because that's probably the one thing we're going to be rolling out the same product most meetings, and that's going to be a bit of an issue, especially like Bendigo. We only race at the one track as well, whereas a couple of the other venues have got 2 tracks, which I suppose that gives a little bit of, Cranbourne and Kilmore, there's a fair difference in those 2 tracks. Melton and Ballarat, there's not that big a difference, but Stawell and Terang, there's big differences there as well. But I think Mildura and Bendigo, we're going to be rolling out the same product. But I suppose flip side of that, Hales, Mildura works. Mildura consistently works. So it's one of those ones. Yeah, so I don't know. I think wait and see, I suppose, and but at least we're still racing, and that's the bonus, and as well with the greyhounds, and that's one of the great things. Roddy, we will let you go, mate, but you work for Southern Cross Stereo, is that correct?
Correct. Yep. So they're Triple M hit radio as well as Channel 9 TV. Yep.
And looks after the absent-minded managers like myself, and reminds me I haven't bought that advertising yet.
You're not too absent-minded, Troy.
You actually used to work. You used to work at the Bendigo Advertiser as well, didn't you, with Kieran Isles?
Yeah. Yeah, so when I left trotting, I went lucky enough to get a job at the Bendigo Addy. So I've been in advertising and media since I've left driving horses. So yeah, that's my day job at the moment anyway.
It's a tough gig at the moment, mate. The advertising side of it. So I guess going back to driving, the harness horse certainly gives a bit more of a mental stimulation, a bit of an out away from that stressful work.
Yeah, I've never been one to sit in front of a computer, Troy, and think that was fun by any stretch of the imagination. So getting behind a trotter and tearing around the track is just good fun for me.
Awesome.
All right, mate. Thank you very much for joining us, and good luck tomorrow. Hopefully we might catch up with you going forward. We might be able to try a few different things, especially with the advertising ranks. And yeah, good luck working with Troy Harley outside of this realm, that's for sure. So it's not always that easy.
But absolute pleasure.
Thank you very much, Roddy, and thank you. We appreciate you joining us, mate. And terrific to do that. So
thanks for having me. See ya. Catch up.
See ya. Hales, he's a good story, and there's going to be a few good stories, that's for sure. There's going to be a lot of people who get a chance. We're going to struggle to get that chance going forward. So that's one of the good things about the regional racing. I think there's going to be plenty of good stories. In the greyhounds, mate, we could go through the weekly winners, but it's pretty easy. Just look up last Bendigo's meeting for me. I don't have to worry, but some good stories coming out of the greyhounds.
Yeah, mate, we had 26 greyhounds prepared in the local area to win last week. A couple of city winners as well, which was great to see. We had Craig Elliott trying to win at Sandown last Thursday night, Ray Hennis at the Meadows last Saturday, but 17 individual winners, Jason Formosa and Rod Clark on top with 3 each, with 26 grounds won races, and it just shows how solid this area is for ground racing, only doing that type of stuff. But I'm appreciating the fact we're not at regional racing, we're drawing dogs from across the state, but still predominantly a lot of our dogs are from the local area or just the surrounds. And as you know, our Easter Carnival, 7 meetings, 11 days, started last Thursday. It's no carnival this time. There's no public allowed on the course, and all the feature races were scrapped. And I've got to say, I was a little bit surprised to see the number of dogs in the fields who've been able to attract the quality and quantity over that period of time. And today's meeting number 4, we've got 5 tomorrow night, 6 on Saturday and 7 on Sunday. And Saturday and Sunday's fields at the end of that period of time, we've got reserves in pretty much 10 of the 12 races on both nights, which is remarkable considering the number of racing we've had. Obviously, the canine coronavirus as well that hit the industry only a few weeks back, and it's been very rare for a while to have so many noms to be able to warrant reserves the other than 7 times, 11 days. It just shows how strong our industry is statewide, but also locally. And from my selfish point of view, my staff have just been incredible to commit themselves to work. Obviously, you appreciate having to work at this time, but also to commit yourself to work 7 days. 7 race meetings in 11 days, but not a lot of reward off the track to you're not seeing the best dogs go around. You're not seeing a couple of thousand people normally here on Easter Sunday and that type of stuff, or Memorial Night tomorrow night.
Absolutely.
It's wonderful to keep themselves committed and focused.
It is one of the big issues, just trying to keep everyone positive as well. I think that's going to be the other part with this regional racing. There's going to be small crowds, small people going, one of the reasons we all enjoy what we do, either code, is meeting people and having a great conversation with people randomly at a race meeting about anything. It doesn't have to be one thing or the other, and that's going to be, I suppose, the same with the greyhounds, rocking up and only having participants, not getting to see other people coming along.
Yeah, absolutely, and having our staff and stuff and members whatnot are so connected to the club, it probably gets a little bit disillusioned at times to say, well, we've normally got 3,000 or 4,000 people in a week, and there's already good earn to the club, and it's a good exposure and a good feel good in the community, connecting with the industry. We haven't got that opportunity, but we have that opportunity to continue to showcase, to continue to allow our participants to earn money, our staff to earn their wage, obviously. And I just think it's hats off to everyone that's been able to stay focused and stay motivated enough to be able to do that for everyone's benefit.
Absolutely. Can I have a little bit of fun with your Hales for a sec? You're not aware of this, and you actually can't see it, but I must give Eric Hendricks a big rap because he's doing a pretty good job at running the club. I know he's getting called up at the last minute, and I've left him in the lurch as we speak because I can't help him with anything, and you physically can't see what I've just done. But I don't know if you saw his Facebook little rant the other day and some stupid hat with the barbecue. It was just peculiar stuff, to say the least, mate.
It looked like it was something like Oktoberfest met the chicken squad. he had a hat he dead set has taken from an Oktoberfest event, without question. I think it's left over in the office from the days when Lord's Raceway used to host. I'm not quite sure how many sheets to the wind he was, but it was a hell of a lot more than 3. And that chook had to have cooked itself because he should never have been anywhere near it. No chance.
He's doing a good job on the track. I'm not so sure about his social media stuff off the track. I told him I'd give him a special mention for what he was doing on the track. Not really. It was this stuff here. I might share it up on Campbell's comments, the link to his little rant and all the rest. But then I was even more disturbed, and the great man has left us. He can't get his Zoom app working. But B. Baker, I don't know if you saw this one either, but you just lost yours as well. Same night, decides he's going to put a thing on there with the pizzas, cooking a pizza on the Weber as well. I'm not sure what these blokes are doing. They're obviously this isolation is obviously absolutely killing them because they've got nothing else to do. They're just putting the same things up over and over again.
Yeah, and it's not a lot of creativity there either. It's not like they're showing you how to cook some gourmet meal or compete with Heston or whoever you want to compete with. But I mean, one's got a chicken or a rotisserie, and like seriously, that's been bought at Coles with extra cheese sprinkled on it and chucked on the Weber. He's cracking jokes. No wonder he's out the back there. He's kidding.
That's why he's not here with us at the minute because he's off cooking another barbecue. But yeah,
looks like he's got the coronavirus in his hand too.
I saw that. I thought that myself. I must say, there is some random stuff getting put out there on social media too, and we'll probably try and bring a fair bit of that to light going forward. If people enjoy this show anyway, mate, and we'll see how it goes. As I said, hopefully the audio is a bit better, which it should be a little bit better. It's trying times, mate, but we've got to try and get the word out there somehow. We've got races tomorrow. We've got a dual code race meeting tomorrow. Really, it's unfortunate. We enjoy our dual code meetings as a rule, but nothing playing this week, mate. It's but both racing. What time's your first? Ours is about 6:20. I know that. So
yeah, mate. Ours is. We normally start at about 6 o'clock because it's normally Memorial night, but we've let the tabs leave the times as they had it set this time. So our first at 8 minutes past 5 and race 12 at 22 minutes past 8. So reasonably condensed an early night meeting, if you like.
Yeah, and I've got your tips there underneath. I rang through, try to be a little bit better, so you got a few tips there. You might just give a quick run through for some of the punters at home, especially the trotting blokes.
Yeah, mate. I think there's a couple there that should be winning. I think race 3, number 8, Zipping Liam. Appreciate this is a tier 3 meeting, so some of these dogs are actually down in class to what they have been racing, but beautifully drawn for Rob Camilleri, whose kennel's absolutely flying after a couple of weeks off after the virus. But race 3, number 8, Zipping Liam. I think race 6, number 1, Panel. The form is 7.5544, but absolutely loves box 1. I think it's got the speed to hold him out and be nice and hard to beat in the Triple M Bendigo. For Rod Lakey that we had on earlier, race 6, number 1, Panel. And in race 11, number 7, Zipping Stand for David Tor, husband of one of our committee ladies here in Jenny Tor. Another dog that will appreciate the drop in class. Well drawn, I think should win race 11, number 7. Zipping Stand, so race 3, number 8, race 6, number 1, and race 11, number 7.
How many races tomorrow, mate?
12 races tomorrow night, another 12 Saturday and 12 Sunday.
That's a lot of races. B. Baker, for what it's worth, I've called it Baker's Breaks. It doesn't work just the same when he's not here, and you can't give him a hard time. That is one part about it, but he's come up with 2 tips. He's actually tipped Heavenly Bell for Anthony Crosland, who was, I suppose, leading driver for a while. He won the first race the overnight for Gary Donaldson and the Bendigo Pacing Group, which was terrific. And it's at nice odds of $6.50. So he's gone a little bit out, which is a bit unusual for Bakes. He generally goes with his favourites. And then he's gone into race 7, Nugget Pan for Andrew Grogan. Shannon O'Sullivan takes a steer at $4.50. He reckons they're both good each way chances, which is really good at Bakes to be able to find a little bit of value. I must say it's unusual for him, that's for sure. He generally likes the short ones. That's his sort of go.
He said each way special, didn't he?
Yeah, that's what he did come up with. He doesn't do a lot of tipping and all the rest, but anyway, he's technology is escaping him at the minute.
Too tight to tip.
Yeah, for what it's worth, I'm actually going to go with the Spin Professor for Alan Tormey in the Yorkshire Park Standardbred Pace. Race 1 on the card at 6:20 tomorrow night at Bendigo. Spin Professor. I just Alan Tormey's horses are going good, and it's a winnable race there for it, drawn well, and it's a $6 pop there on the market. One thing I wanted to bring up, Hales, and I find it pretty important, and to get, we're a regional show. We're trying to do the right by Bendigo trots and Bendigo greyhounds. That's what we do here at Lord's Raceway, and look after Garrards. There's no Garrard specials, but they are still open. Just ring your order through so they can get your order ready for you, so you're not hanging around. They'll put it on the table. There's no crossover, which is really, really good. But I think we've got to make sure we just try and look after a few of the local businesses as well, and make sure that they're getting looked after. Our sponsors, like we've got great sponsors at Bendigo. You're the same with the greyhounds, loyal sponsors, and they're not getting bang for their buck because there's no one going to meeting the tracks, and we're not talking about it as much because it's a little bit harder to get the message out there. We're just going to make sure we patronise these local industries and businesses and look after them. I actually went to Fitzpatrick's Hardware yesterday instead of going to Bunnings. I had to get a couple of things, and Fitzpatrick's out at Eagle Hawk. Kim owns horses with us, but they're a local business, and we've just got to try and patronise them all, and keep everyone going, keep everyone afloat.
Yeah, we certainly do, mate. Just so they're not getting their exposure normally, particularly here. Obviously, Easter's such a big thing for us, and most of our sponsors are tied to Easter, and we're not that far away from the Bendigo Cup either, with the rest of the sponsors are tied to. So they're missing out on that. So wherever the businesses are still open and to be able to be supported, certainly try and look those businesses up and go that way if you can. And
stay safe and all the rest. And I will give a big plug. I do work for Kilmore, and no one's paying me, no one's sponsoring. We need a sponsor going forward. We probably need a third wheel, but who knows what he's up to. We don't worry about him too much. Bendigo, the Bendigo Club here in Bendigo, and also Trackside at Kilmore, they've got their delivery menus going out. And I know a few people are dining out by them. Well, they're dining out. They're actually having tea at home, but they're getting good, well-cooked meals. But Good Friday, which is just terrific, and great that they're getting behind the Good Friday and being open to get local meals out there, and like if you can't buy Easter eggs and that for your family and all the rest, maybe buy a meal for your mum or your some of your relatives. Ring up these places and pay for it on credit card and get it delivered to them for a nice healthy Easter meal, which would be a good tonic, I think.
Yeah, great idea. And some of those businesses are adapting so well, and I wasn't aware of that, the Bendigo clubs. It's a great idea.
Yeah, well, Bendigo Club and Trackside Cafe, Kilmore, both tied up through Kilmore with Ben Murphy and the crew, and he does a great job. But they've got a Good Friday a Good Friday menu, which I think is just terrific. But they're doing menus all the time. We will go, but I will just quickly, Hales, did you notice Pinjarra racing this Friday? I was doing a bit of form and I flicked past and I saw Friday. I just flicked straight over it, and then I saw Pinjarra harness racing.
West Australia have been racing Good Friday for a couple of years now.
Have they really?
I think Ascot was racing. They were the first ones. So they've done Good Friday for a couple of years now.
Right.
So it'd be interesting to see what other states. Obviously, haven't followed this year. It'd be interesting to see what other states do in the future. Obviously, when the footy codes are playing, the rugby league Good Friday night's always massive, and I'm not sure what the plans are with the other sports, but I'm 50-50 on it. I'm not a religious person by any means, but I think if we can't have Good Friday and Christmas Day, I think we're a bit desperate. But if that's what it takes to make sure that we keep our eye on the ball and earning and whatnot, I think it's not a bad concept to think of. But Perth have been doing it for a little, West Australia have been doing it for a little while. Yeah,
well, it is an interesting one. I'm not sure what I take of it, I must say, but anyway, it is what it is, I suppose. They do it, and I agree with you. I think if we can't have 2 days off a year, we're in trouble, really. But anyway, just see. I'm actually going to tune in and see what Sky Channel do. I didn't know what Sky Channel actually would do.
I'm pretty sure they show up. So that's why I think it's been a pretty good windfall for them by going ahead with the Good Friday racing. So it makes sense in some jurisdictions, and I guess if we all end up in shutdown, we'd be happy to race every Good Friday and Christmas Day for the next couple of years to make up for it. So who knows what the future holds.
Absolutely. Yeah, no, it's different times, mate. It's turbulent times. That's where the name comes from, because we're not sure what to expect. And when you got B Baker on the payroll, you just don't know what to expect at all, I must say. He comes up with...
Thankfully, it's BYO pay.
Absolutely. But, he's...
You get what you pay for.
Hopefully, we'll be able to get him sitting behind a computer next week, and it'll be a little bit easier. I don't think the phone's the most reliable source for these Zoom things. But going forward, mate, I'm going to try a few more of these. We might try something over the weekend and just try and change it up a little bit anyway, and get a bit more of the positivity out there. It's a pretty negative time. It's easy for everyone to be negative at the minute, but we'll try and get the positivity out there.
Yeah, absolutely, mate. And as you know, we're developing a few of our own media stuff here at the club, and I think over the next couple of months, it's a good time to trial and error a lot of those things through social media and stuff, and just start getting more information out there. And the sports that aren't active are doing it, so the sports that are active, like us, we probably should be doing a little bit more, and hopefully we can get a bit of a connection, a bit of a following, and see how we go.
Replays, they're not the dumbest thing in the world either, are they? Because I've been, as I said, watching a lot of sport, old races, old V8 car races and all the rest. They get value for their money. I think, we go live all the time and we do a great job, but perhaps we could do a little bit more with our replays and reminiscing days or something like that, like a monthly catch-up of what happened the month before, because I think it all just sort of mixes into one sometimes when we're so busy.
It certainly appears to be a time of reminiscing this isolation, and certainly seen it on social media, and I think that's something that we probably don't do enough of in terms of bringing our past to the present. And it's one thing we miss a little bit tomorrow night, the Memorial night, that we're not bringing the past to the present and reminiscing and reliving those days and the stories and whatnot. I think we need to start doing that as well, and start reconnecting with our history. And this is probably a good time to do it, because there's not a lot going on in the present.
No, couldn't agree more. Troy Harley, thank you very much, mate, for joining me. Turbulent Times, we'll come back next Wednesday. We'll go back to 5 o'clock, and we'll try and get, phone just rang, I didn't have it on silent. We'll try and get B Baker organised as well, mate. But we'll try and do a few more things going forward between us both, and get the word out there. But don't forget to bet on the Bendigo harness, Bendigo grounds. We'll bet on anything, because turnover is king as well. We need as much turnover as we can right at the minute, and keep racing.
Absolutely.
Thanks, mate.
Thanks, mate. Cheers.